Welcome to HomeFront SitRep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront SitRep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Still in the fight, different battlefield, same damn life. No spotlight shining on the ones who serve, just grief, sacrifice, and a whole lot of nerve. From small town shops to a helping hand, we're lifting each other, yeah, that's the plan. No red tape, no filter, no disguise, just truth in the fire, behind our eyes. This is HomeFront SitRep, hear the call, where the real ones rise and the fallen stand tall. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here, this is HomeFront SitRep. From the shadows to the spotlight we step. Yeah, this is HomeFront SitRep. From the scars we carry to the lives we rebuild, from the weight of silence to the strength of will. Non-profits grinding, boots on the street, no headlines chasing, just mission complete. Veteran alone, still chasing the dream. From a mic to a message, we're building a team. Creators and fighters, yeah, we all belong. Turn the pain into purpose, turn the hurt into song. No politics, no games, no divide. Just warriors standing side by side. This is HomeFront SitRep, hear the call, where the real ones rise and the fallen stand tall. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here, this is HomeFront SitRep. From the shadows to the spotlight we step. Yeah, this is HomeFront SitRep. We don't forget, we don't walk away. We carry each other through every day. From combat boots to a boss to a seat, still standing tall, still hard to defeat. Real stories, real impact, real people. This ain't just a podcast. This is a movement. This is HomeFront SitRep, loud and clear, for the ones still fighting year after year. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here, this is HomeFront SitRep. Yeah, we rise, we grind, no regrets. Welcome to HomeFront SitRep.
Welcome, everybody, to a Sunday edition of HomeFront SitRep. How is everybody doing? Gunny, welcome back, sir.
Yeah, man. Thanks. You too. I mean, we had last Monday off. We took a little trip down to Nashville, and then Friday I took off to the left coast and spent some time out there with the team. And we had a very successful jump into Stanford Stadium yesterday for the California Classico, where the San Jose Earthquakes took on the LA Galaxy, and unfortunately, it ended in a tie at full time. So I don't know what that looks like for them on the year already. I mean, they are just getting back in the swing of things of MLS soccer. But yeah, I love doing that one every year. I took an extra day and made a trip to the Rock, visited Alcatraz. I've been going out there for the past 12, 13 years with the team. made probably 15, 20 trips and never done it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going out early. I'm going to take the trip. I'm going to go visit the house where Capone and Machine Gun Kelly and Birdman stayed. And then, some of our hardened criminals back in the 60s, and just learn that history. And then, even the history when the Native Americans tried to take the rock back over as their land, and, learn that piece of history too. And just a lot of cool stuff out there to do in the Bay Area. But that one for sure, for a lot of people is a bucket list item. But yeah, it's definitely one of our national parks that should be visited. It's crumbling quickly. I will say that there's a lot of the areas you can't go to anymore. You can't go into the showers. You can't go into the chow hall. The whole south end of the island's basically gone. Most of the north end of the island's gone. But yeah, if you have one of those one days, I'll get there, that don't put it off, because those one days may not happen. I mean, and it's not just because of, some of this stuff's deteriorating. We just don't know what's going to happen within our own lives, right? So it was just cool to go out there and be part of that and see that and learn about the escapes and proposed escapes. And, that there's some Marine Corps history there. When the prisoners took over the island, they called in the Marines to take over. And there's still grenade marks on the concrete in the main common area out there on the floor. So it's just pretty neat to see that Marine Corps history piece from the Alcatraz side too.
Yeah, the Marines had just got back from, I forget where they got back from, but they landed and they're like, "Hey, we need you here on Alcatraz." And then as soon as the Marines pulled up, they're like, "Where do you want to sit?" And they're like, "Well, we need you guarding the prisoners that are in the," I think they were in the yard at the time, but they were trapped. They couldn't get out of the yard because the other prisoners had. So yeah, it's super cool, because I was reading that history a while back. I was like,
well, they overran a couple of the guards and got the keys to their guns, and had guards in cells, and was shooting the guards. And the Marines ended up coming in on the roof and dropping grenades through a hole in the roof into the main common area in the middle of the prison cells, right in between Broadway and where D Block is, the solitary confinement area.
Yeah, I thought it was super cool just to know that there was history there, Marine Corps history at least.
Yeah.
And so last week, like you said, we took off on Monday. We didn't have a podcast. We got invited by Challenge America to go down to Nashville for the Grand Ole Opry Challenge America 250. And man, it was super cool just to get down there. We can't hear. What does that say at the top? Something we can't hear something.
I'm not seeing it on my end.
Hold on, what does it say? Walter and Tammy says we can't hear. Open chat. Where's that at?
It's in the private chat.
So they can't hear us. Okay.
Is anybody else having issues with hearing what we're saying? And is it both of us that they can't hear?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. I just typed in there.
Can't hear it either.
Let's see. We can hear Gunny. They just can't hear me. What the heck, man?
They can't hear.
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
On Facebook, it's both. I can hear both on Facebook. So that was just my echo on Facebook.
Tell them to leave and come back, because maybe I don't know what's going on. They can hear you. They can hear me.
Try signing out and coming back in to see if that's working on the Willis end.
Yeah, because Facebook can hear me.
Yeah, because Facebook is having both of us are being heard on Facebook. So I don't know what's going on their end.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But hopefully they'll go out. But anyway, we got to go down to all right, what did they say? Yeah, we got to go to Nashville for Challenge America 250. So it was the Opry 100, Challenge America 250.
Your mic's doing what it did last week with the in and out. You might have to bring it closer.
What about now? What about now?
Yeah, much better.
All right. I readjusted the little speaker part of it.
Yeah.
Playing around with it. But yeah, so we got to go down to Challenge or the Grand Ole Opry, and got to see Vince Gill, Amy Grant, Raylan's sister Sadie, um,
Daryl Worley,
Daryl Worley, John Foster. Was it John? Yeah,
John
John
Foster,
Foster,
Air Force veteran, former law enforcement officer,
Aaron
uh,
Edwards.
turned musician. Just yeah, really, really great weekend down there. I mean, the show was so long that we actually took an intermission halfway through the show.
Yeah, yeah, and it was super cool because Gunny and I got down there early. Of course, we're Marines, so we do things early. So we got to stop at In and Out for lunch, and then we went to Middle Tennessee State Veteran Cemetery, drove around there, and then we went to the National Veteran Cemetery on North Nashville, right?
North of
Um,
Nashville.
and then there was 3 Medal of Honor recipients buried there. What else was there, Gunny? 'Cause
The guy that wrote the Ballad of the Green Beret was buried in there, and then some other notable people. There was one set of markers that we came across just driving around, and it was 2 female names, and I kept reading it. It said the wives, plural, of Private whoever. I'm like, wow, that's weird that both of his wives are buried here. Well, you go down 5 more markers, and there's Private so and so, and then at the bottom it said loved by everyone. I'm like, well, yeah, both of his wives are just right up the street, 5 markers away. Of course, he's loved by everybody. He's got both of his wives buried in the same spot. But uh, looking at it, just the dates, he was widowed and got remarried. And
Yeah.
then she passed away a year before him, and then he passed. But at the veteran cemeteries, each plot is allowed to have 2 people in it, and so I guess he put both of his wives in the same plot. I guess I don't know, instead of one with him. But yeah, and then there's some other things that we saw in there, some Civil War era, man, all the way up to current conflict stuff.
Well,
And
the Spanish American War. There, I mean, it was crazy. I was like, the one guy that came over from Ireland, Lawless. I think his name was Lawless.
came over when he was 6 with his family.
Yeah, yeah. It was just super cool to see. And then, of course, we got to the Grand Ole Opry, and we had the Studio A experience. We got to go backstage here, live music. They had food in there, drinks in there. And it was just pretty cool. And then we got to go into the Opry itself, had VIP seatings or VIP seating. I mean, literally, we were 5 rows behind off the stage. And it was just so cool to be able to be part of that, which I've always wanted to go to the Grand Ole Opry. So it was one of my bucket list things. And get to see Vince Gill, get to see Amy Grant, and then everybody else in there. It was so cool to do. So I was excited. And
yeah,
then
getting 3 songs from each artist. Some debuted a new song or talked about a new song. The one young man who just finished second on American Idol came out with the Fast as You, Dwight Yoakam. And if you close your eyes, you wouldn't know the difference between that young man and Dwight Yoakam. And then when you open your eyes, he looked like a young Dwight Yoakam with his moves and everything. I mean, amazing young singer. And then he sang one of his songs, and he closed it out with a Toby Keith song, and just he's got a bright future in front of him. He was really, really good. And of course, Daryl Worley sang his 3 big hits, and closed his show out with Have You Forgotten? And then Vince came out and sang and closed out with oh my God, I'm drawing a
Go
blank.
Rest High on the Mountain.
Yeah, Go Rest High on the Mountain. And just to hear him sing that live and watch him sing that live, and the passion that he still sings that with all these years later, it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely was amazing experience. I'm going to give a big shout out over here on the TikTok world. That's what I'm looking over here. We got Operation Vets with Net. We got Indy Nurse. We got Addie. over on the TikTok world, and there's other people coming and going over there. I see Rich LaMonica just jumped in over here on this end. So what's up, Rich? How are you, sir? I'm super excited. I've been talking with our guest tonight for a little while, and back and forth in email wise, and I'm excited to have them on to learn more of what they're doing. So the organization's called is from service to self. We have both co-founders on. We got Miss Tamara Moore and Mr. Walter Matthews. Tamara is a retired United States Navy Command Center career counselor who served our nation for 26 years.
Damn recruiters.
Throughout her military career, she guided countless sailors through career decisions and transition planning. So that's cool.
Even worse, she's a career planner. That's, oh my Lord. Jammers, man.
And then after experiencing the realities of military transition firsthand, she recognized that while veterans often receive career resources, many struggle with rebuilding their identity and finding renewed purpose, which we talk about all the time here on the show.
All the time. I mean, that's probably our number one topic that we talk about is, losing your sense of purpose, losing your sense of direction, losing your sense of identity. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then we got Mr. Walter Matthews, a United States Army veteran, which we won't hold that against him. He's an entrepreneur, leadership coach, and fellow co-founder of From Service to Self. Walter understands that transition isn't simply about landing the next job. It's about transforming military leadership into a meaningful civilian life. Through his work, mentoring veterans and developing leaders, he helps former service members rediscover their strength, to find a new mission, and continue serving in an impactful ways long after leaving active duty. So I'm super excited to bring them up, let them talk about themselves for a little bit. What do you think, Gunny?
For sure. I mean, Tamara's going to talk because she was a career counselor, recruiter. So that's all they know how to do is talk, empty promises and talk a lot. And then of course, we talk about trying to take your military skill set that you had and transfer that into something that makes you more marketable, to put you out in the forefront of the job market or school or whatever you're trying to do. So super excited what these two are going to bring to the table tonight.
All right, let's bring them up. Are you ready? I think she's going to beat you up, Gunny. Welcome in, guys.
I was a recruiter myself, so I know that I got it.
Hello.
Welcome in. How are you guys?
I'm wonderful. I really want to clarify real quick. I was a Navy counselor, not a Navy counselor recruiter. I have never recruited. I tell the truth. Yes.
That's what they all say.
Yeah. So yes, a Navy counselor for sure.
Go ahead. I'll let you jump in.
Right.
Well, first off, before y'all start, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come hang out with Gunny and I out here on HomeFront SitRep. So now this is the time where I say, hey, please introduce yourself.
We appreciate you having us. Thank you so very much. So my name is Tamara Moore. I retired last year in April from the Navy. And the last thing I did in the Navy was to be a Navy counselor, command career counselor. I ended my my time in Millington/Memphis, Tennessee. That was my last duty station. So yeah, that was interesting. The program developed. So Walter and I have been best friends for
26, almost 27 years.
Yes. So he knew me from almost right. So he's known me almost since the beginning of my, my military career. And while I was in, he also, went into the Army. He got out before me. He got smart enough not to make it an entire beyond career, like I did. But he let me know that, hey, before you go, you're going to experience some things. And I'm like, nah, I teach my sailors all the time. Hey, make sure you have a plan, make sure you have a job, make sure, it's not going to be what you think it is. And it wasn't what I thought it was when I was, training people. Yeah. So the transition class, the TAP class, it's phenomenal for what it's for, what it does. What I didn't realize was that I was going to miss, my sailors calling me and coming into my office and having to do stuff and having to, write up different things and, even write our sit reps and write our, going in and briefing the CO and the XO and all of those things that I would honestly say that I took for granted, because I was just doing them. They were my day to day. So it was nothing super huge, for me. And I got out, and once we did our final move and we moved out here to Arizona, and I was just sitting outside taking it in, and I was like, oh, my phone is not ringing. Nobody's calling NC1, and it just kind of set in. And Walter walks out and he's like, what's going on? And I could, looking back on it, I can tell in his face, he's like, oh, it's starting to hit you. It's starting. And I'm just like, what is, because I mean, a majority of the people that I worked with were like, I'm ready to get out. And I mean, even on our page that we see comments, I'm ready to go. I can't stand this, da 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 da. And you swear it's better on the outside. And sometimes it is, but a majority of the time, not so much.
That grass might be greener, but there's a lot more fertilizer to it.
Right.
I like the way you put that. Yeah, it's Walter Matthews, like Tamara said, we've known each other almost 27 years. Went into the Army. Don't hold it against me, guys. You got to understand something. I was in a military academy as a kid. Both of my godparents were decorated drill sergeants in the Army. I sort of had no choice.
You kind of didn't have a choice. You didn't have a choice.
I had no choice.
That was a voluntold opportunity there.
I was voluntold. I was. I mean, I mentioned Marines, and they just looked at me and said, try it. I said, okay, never mind. Army it is. So...
See, they were just scared you're going to become better than them. That's all it is.
So,
oh, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Walter.
I was in, I tell people I was in, it was a whisper in the wind, more or less. But I end up getting out because of medical, bad flu vaccination. I was told after growing up in Wisconsin that I was allergic to cold weather. Still boggles me. I'm not sure how that even became a thing. But later found out it is actually a real thing, and so forth. So the Army basically told me I was a liability because of that. And yeah, it's called Raynaud's phenomenon. You got Raynaud's phenomenon syndrome. And it's bad. It's horrible, but it was funny because a flu vaccination actually triggered it. It's something that they usually don't see until people get older, 70, 80 years old. And I was in my early 20s, being diagnosed with this thing that's known as a silent killer. And I mean, it's crazy. It's insane. But I was talking with Tamara, and when she was like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go home. And I'm like, look, what is your plan? What is your plan? Oh, no, I'm good. And like she said, she was like, I talk to my sailors about this all the time. I said, nah, I've been out much longer than you have. And I'm telling you, it's not what you think it is. So what is your plan? Are you prepared to actually deal with this transition? Because what they make seem to be a easy transition that may take you a year to get through and so forth is actually, it's a lifelong transition, and it's forever going. You're forever trying to find your footing in certain things. And even when you get good in one thing, something else comes along and it makes you go, dang, I thought I had it, Yeah. And so with that, we ended up, after seeing her, last year, and like she said, I walked outside and I was like, you good? Like, what's wrong? You good?
Yeah.
And I knew she wasn't. And everything that I tried to prepare her for, I saw it. It was like a waterfall. It just all started coming down on her, at one time. And I'm like, look, I'm here. I get it. I'm here. And I'm not going to feed you any BS. I'm not going to try to make you think that you're going to be fine. It's just the moment. Nope. Look, this is years of still trying to acclimate and reacclimate, and there's no finish to it. There's adaptability from it. And so with that, we ended up turning around and coming up with, FSTS. And it was like, well, what's missing? And the one thing that I told Tamara, like, she had the joy of going through TAPS. I didn't get taps or any, they
Yeah.
fast tracked me out. They said, here's your ticket. Good luck. See you on the other side. So, and that's what it was, right? And but I told her, I said, taps, from what I saw, taps was good for professional preparation, right? You're good to get out and go into somebody else's system and do their job, right? That they want you to do. But what's disconnected and what's missing from service members transitioning out is the human side of things, the civilian side of things. Where's the connection? What's the bridge to actually let you know that, okay, you're going to always be overqualified. I don't care if you worked in the child hall or if you actually, were in C1, right? Like, you're going to always be overqualified. They're not going to actually, admire you the way that you probably should be admired once you get out and give you those accolades and so forth. And the one thing that we find a lot, and I'm sure we'll dive deeper into this, is that people post all the time about camaraderie, right? And you don't get that in the civilian world. You just don't, And so our goal is to make people aware that there's a soft place to land. There's a safe space to discuss, right? And we may not be able to fix everything, but we can connect you with resources. We can connect you with resources that go beyond just getting therapy, right? I mean, we have therapists that we talk to, but it's also financial advising. Like, there's so many service members that get out and they may get their monthly, and they're like, okay, well, I'm here. I'm supposed to just be spending this and surviving off of it. But they're not necessarily guided on how they can actually take that and make more from it. They're, something that we found out was that a lot of service members that transition, 85% of service members that want to go into entrepreneurship actually do it successfully, and that says a lot. It says a lot about who we are, having served, having taken that oath, having come from this structured environment, coming into, and I worked in corporate America for a number of years, but I'll say it, but coming into something that's not so structured, corporate America is not the most structured environment to be in by any means.
I mean, they don't even trust 22-year-olds to make the coffee or copies. Let's just say that, right? So you've got 18, 19-year-olds leading soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, right? Service members into combat situations or certain training situations and stuff like that. And I've noticed, right? So you can, as a service member, take your skill set, whatever your rate, whatever your MOS, whatever you want to call your job is, you can take that and tangibly transition that into something in the job market. The hardest thing to do is take those intangible traits that the employer can't see, that were instilled in you through training, through your time in service, and try to translate that into something that makes you more marketable for that company, right? So I think that's where the biggest transition I saw was when I retired, was not being able to take those, leadership traits and principles that were instilled in me from early on in the Marine Corps through the 14 plus years that I served, and move that into a civilian sector job to make that job person say, like, hey, this is me in a nutshell, right? So whatever awards are on the wall, you can take that and show them, I did this to receive this award, but that's that intangible piece, the piece that you cannot touch, right? That they don't understand unless they serve themselves, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Because I know for certain that you can put all of us, it's especially Navy and Marines together. We give y'all some crayons and y'all eat and we'll mop a floor, But we're at the end of the day, what I did notice as I did part of my time as a reservist, and I was a contractor for a company, and we had it was a majority of Sailor and Marine veterans that were in there, and like we ran it. We talk, we're going to talk crap back and forth, but when it comes down to it, and when it's war fighting, and when it's something important, we know how to band together, because at the end of the day, we're brothers and sisters, and people that have never served are not going to get that. They don't understand. Weren't y'all just talking crap? Yes, we were, but that's how we do.
I usually don't.
A retired Marine.
I usually don't let my Uber talk to me. I just let them sit there and shut their mouth and take me where I'm going. But I mean, and it is, we all banter back and forth, and
Yeah.
and we all of us pick on the Space Force because none of us know what in the world they're doing.
Nobody.
We all pick on the Air Force and the Coast Guard because their dress uniforms look like they should be driving a bus in Philly and New York. But at the end of the day, when you're going into it, right, and we're going to take the Coast Guard, right? They do missions that we don't even understand on a daily basis. They put themselves in harm's way more than any other branch of service that is out there. Now, yes, they fall under Homeland Security, but when there's a time of war or conflict, they fall under the Department of the Navy. Actually, Willis and I served together, and we were in Haiti in 1999, and we have a Coast Guard Special Operations ribbon. And the only thing that means is that we served in a area where that Coast Guard unit didn't already have something specifically assigned to them as a medal or a ribbon. That's all it means. There's nothing special about it.
Well, we rescued those refugees.
Yeah, the only thing special about it is that it wasn't, an Iraqi freedom and enduring freedom or any of that stuff. But at the end of the day, our mission is all the same, right? Our oath of enlistment is all the same. Yeah. You just take out Navy, Marine, whatever, insert service here. Everything else is the same. The oath of enlistment doesn't say, "Oh, I pledged my allegiance to the Marine Corps." No.
Yeah.
The Constitution of the United States, right? So, and that's where I think a lot of civilians don't understand is our end goal, our end mission is the same.
It's the same.
Absolutely.
Different ways to getting there, right? You might want to take the backcountry road. I might want to skydive in. Willis might want to try to swim across. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get to the same objective, and that's to keep everybody back here in the homeland safe, right? And those of us that have U.S. citizens across, keeping them safe too. And that's what a lot of civilians don't understand is that's it. Yeah, we'll banter with each other all day long. I mean, you look at baseball, professional baseball, the Reds and the Yankees banter back and forth like nobody else, right? Ohio State and Michigan banter back and forth like nobody else. At the end of the day, they all want to win that national championship to give them that ultimate bragging rights, right? But still, it's not like they truly hate each other.
Right.
I'm a huge Michigan fan. My son's godfather has the Block O tattooed on his leg. We don't hate each other. Now, when it comes time in November, when we're playing the worthless nuts, yes, we're going to talk some trash back and forth. But at the end of the day, we all still love each other.
He's on the air today.
I got little to no sleep, man, and you know how I operate. So you guys have known each other for 27 years. Willis and I met on the Yellow Footprints in 1997 at Paris Island.
Nice.
Yeah. So we've known each other for quite some time.
Yeah.
There's not a 3 in front of that number yet, but it's getting close.
It's getting close. Right here, Gunny. It's right there, Gunny.
We're 11 months away from that.
On the way.
Yeah.
So I like where you said, I got out the first time in 01 in August. And then my terminal leave was up September 1st. 9/11 happened, then I got recalled back in, and I was into the end of 03, first of 04. My first transition out, I moved back home. I was there a couple months. I didn't really get time to settle in and see everything that I was missing. Right? I mean, I already felt a little bit of it, but I still kind of had a mindset, hey, because I was trying to go back into the Army because I was going to do 20. I was going to finish up in the Army. So I was already talking to a recruiter, trying to get everything lined up. Then, of course, 9/11 happened. They put a freeze and I had to go back in. And so when I got out the second time, I restarted talking to the Army guy because I was infantry. And if you know anything about Marine Corps infantry, once you're infantry, you're infantry. It's hard to do a lateral move out. So my plan was to finish 20. You got lucky. You were one of the lucky ones.
Lucky? Getting blown up twice isn't lucky.
Well, you went to LA. You went to LAR first, though.
But it's still infantry. I was still doing infantry stuff. I wasn't doing LAV stuff.
Yeah, true.
Oh my!
But it's hard to get out of the infantry once you're infantry, and so my plan was to go in the Army to finish my 14 years. And go into telecommunications, which is the field that I'm in now, and when I got out the second time in 04, the Army denied me, said, "Oh, we can't let you join the Army because you had asthmatic symptoms as a child."
Oh,
Now,
wow.
I'm like, "Wait a minute, I got 2 honorable discharges from the Marine Corps, and you're telling me I can't go in the Army?" And then,
Look, they are. That's my people.
yeah, I was like, "What the heck?" But, looking back, hindsight's 20/20 because
Yeah.
my wife, my current wife, which I love her to death, she told me that if I went back into the military, me and her would not be together. And I wouldn't have 2 beautiful daughters. I wouldn't have the life that I'm living now. So hindsight's 20/20. There was a reason why I couldn't go back in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I did lose that sense of purpose. Here I was an E5 in infantry. I was a squad leader. I was doing all of that, and I was leading, my squad. And when I got out, it was just like, what am I going to do now? I got a factory job, and I was like, this is not what I want. Because I don't like being indoors. Like, I can't be indoors. It's just
I'm the same way.
I think I'm allergic to indoors.
Right.
So I have to be outside, right? That's my current job. I play in the dirt all day long. That's all I do for the company I work for. And I lost that sense of purpose, and I lost that camaraderie. And luckily I started volunteering at nonprofits. As soon as pretty much within 6 months of getting out, I found a local nonprofit. I started volunteering. Once my kids got old enough, they started volunteering with me at these nonprofits. And then it got to the point where, I started getting on boards of nonprofits and being, whatever they needed me to be on that board. And then when I resigned in 2020, and I lost that sense of purpose again in 2020, and Gunny mentioned it earlier. Find your passion. That's what you want to do. To find your sense of purpose, you go with what your passion is. And I didn't really realize at the time when I started this podcast, I did it, one, to highlight veteran nonprofits, but I also did it because it was helping me. It was my therapy because I got to hear other veteran stories and get to tell their stories. So that was helping me, but it's also now my passion, where my wife will tell you I have an addictive personality. When I find something that I like, I stick with it. I go full all in, because I did that with nonprofit stuff where when I was on a board and they had events and stuff, my family suffered sometimes because I would rather be at that event than do things with my own family. So that, that was kind of hurting the family dynamic. So when I first started this podcast, it was 1 a week. Then it went to 2 a week. Then it went to 4 a week. And then wife was like, "Hey, you need to dial it back down." So we went back to 2 a week. And what's up, Senior Chief Elder? How are you, sir? Or is it Master Chief? I can't remember. Is Senior higher or Master Chief higher?
Master Chief is higher.
Well, it might be Master Chief.
A Marine that doesn't even understand his Navy ranks.
I've been out since 2004, bro.
Oh my!
But I've been out since 2004. I can't remember if he's Senior Chief or Master Chief. I know he's one of those.
He's gonna let you know.
Oh,
Senior Chief. Yeah, he's Senior Chief Petty Officer.
Nice.
But he runs Mill to Vets. He's out in Washington State.
Okay.
He'd be good for y'all to get on his podcast as well.
Okay.
Definitely.
Amazing guy, Chris Elder.
You're trying to pawn him off already. We still got another 20 minutes with these.
I ain't pawning nobody off. All right, so do me a favor. Let's talk about from service to self. How the ideal got started and what you guys do for veterans and transition military members.
So okay, so so again, like I said, establishing, after realizing that I was sinking far into a depression, looking at resources and things and I'm 100% PNT. For sure. I had a brain aneurysm while I was in the military. They did surgery. I got it fixed and then had a stroke at work. And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to go ahead and let you go into the house." So I did not get to finish the 20 active years. I have 26 total, but nonetheless. Calling around, the experience with the VA, nobody lets you know how that works out. I found several veterans, holding signs. I'd always seen, veterans homeless will work for whatever. When even in and out. And I'm just like, well, I don't understand. I understand now. It's not that you don't have the skill set to do things. The
Mhm.
depression that sets in and you're missing things. There's nothing like, like that at all. And it's not a cult kind of thing. It's just like, we're brothers and sisters and we protect each other. So coming together, Walter and I were sitting down talking, and we just came up with, like, we need to do something to have a space for veterans to come together and to build that camaraderie back and have a safe space for us to come and sit and talk. And from there, we developed a course to go out and talk with companies, talk with veterans, and well, for the veterans part, to come together and have a collective so we can sit down and talk, and go through different things for the company so they can understand better their veteran population, because I don't think that's something that's touched upon very deeply. You have Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and then that's about it. Maybe
Yep.
Army, Navy birthday, whatever the game. And then to go along with that, it's like we can go even farther and assist, just building an entire ecosystem that deals with mental health, that deals with um, helping give you positions in different kind of jobs and other situations. And I'm going to leave that with you to discuss that.
So with as Tamara was saying, part of it is, the aspect of helping the employers, especially in corporate America, again, understand, like, you have a force multiplier inside of your company whenever you have veterans there. And a lot of, like I said, I worked in corporate America for a number of years. I was responsible for a lot of the new hires we brought on, their salaries, their roles, what their future plan was when we had them on a track, depending on what they were being hired for. And a lot of times I would see veterans coming in getting hired, and I would notice, or they may be, guard or reserve, right? And I'm like, oh, I see you serve. What is your purpose here? Like, what are you hoping to get out of this, right? And the reason I did that is because I saw a lot of the directors and executives hire people, and they seem to show, without saying it directly, some favoritism to folks that were not military,
Yeah.
right? And what I later discovered was that, and again, this was years ago, I later discovered that those of us that served were a threat because they knew what we brought, as far
Mhm.
as the structure and the ability to be able to meet the deadlines and so forth, right? Like, I don't play corporate well. I tell people that all the time. Like, if you tell me, hey, we need to get to, target C, I'm not gonna deal with you having me jump all the way back to N, come back to B, and jump all the way over to Z, and come back, and then partially say, oh, well, we're not ready for that yet. Hold off, right? But
Yeah.
I want you to start this next project. It doesn't work well for me. And so when I would see, our brothers and sisters come through, I would say, hey, so what are you looking to get out of this? Okay. Like,
Right.
you're gonna get the job, but what are you hoping to get out of this? Right. And if it was like, hey, I want to be a director, I want to get my own office at some point, I want to whatever, okay. I'm gonna help you navigate that. Understand the culture that you're coming into, because I see
Yeah.
you just got out or you haven't been out too long, and this and the other. Let me tell you how this is gonna work on this side. Okay, because it's really a who knows who and who you have favoritism from, and so forth and so on. So with that, when we were building out from service to self, my thing that I brought up to Tamara was like, look, we need to go into some of these companies and say, we need to, one, talk to your leadership, help them understand and figure out what their veteran population is, because surprisingly enough, a lot of them don't know,
Yeah.
because they're just looking at the bodies that's there and can you do the job, right?
The HR knows because
Mhm.
they're hiring
Yeah.
the I mean, and they were hiring veterans to get
Mhm.
that tax cut, right?
Eh,
Back, what,
Didn't
8
I
to
tell
10
you?
years,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah.
they were hiring veterans to get that tax cut, but again, they don't know the higher ups have
Right,
no clue
right.
if they have veterans. They don't do like in a veteran appreciation thing to
Yeah.
see who they have for veterans. And back to what I said earlier, they
Yeah.
don't know how to implement us.
They don't
Yeah.
know how to implement. And so therefore, with that is you start with the discussion with leadership, because everything trickles down. It's not, and so it's like, okay, get them to have an understanding. From there, now let's see what your veteran population is and where do you have them at? Because to your point earlier, Gunny, you can have an 18, 19, 20-year-old pushing troops and you know, sailors and all, and they get a job when they get out where they're sitting in a call center just on the phone, you know, how can I help you catch up on your mortgage payment? You know,
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
and they're dying inside because they're like, do you know what I did? Do you know what I do? Right. And
Hmm.
so it's to highlight, you know, who you have working inside of your organization, and then putting forth a course for you all to go through to understand one another, because we speak a different language than those that have not served. We just do.
Hmm.
Even all the way down to our thought process, no matter how much we can adapt to what you may need in the company, we are still at our core different, you know? And
Yeah.
so there has to be an understanding of language and operation and processes and things of that nature as far as how we actually go through the changes and transitions when asked to do something, versus someone that may be fresh out of college, or someone
Yeah.
that, you know, have been working in an industry too long. And people give me pushback when I say, hey, you've been an executive too long, you know, we need some fresh blood in here, right? Like,
I
it's
mean, it's
just, it's a real
no
thing.
different than senators and congressmen who have lost touch with the people they're supposed to be representing, right? And
Totally
you have a
agree.
lot of them that don't even live in their district anymore, and they're trying to
Yeah.
talk about the struggles or the successes of that area. Well, you've not stepped foot in there in 20 years. How do you know?
Yeah.
And
Right.
then
And
they
that's,
go, they show them, they're like, wow, I didn't know it was like this anymore. And that's the executives are the same way. They forget where they came from and
exactly.
what it was meant to be at that lower level, the mid level, and working their way up. And you know, of
Yeah.
course, you got some of them that are inheriting that executive level from a
Exactly.
family member or whatever, and they really don't know what it's like to be at that level because they've always lived at that executive level.
Yes. Yes. And that's a really big thing. And so one of the things that we've done is I have a company with a partner in Wisconsin called Smart Drone Academy. Something that we realize is that, hey, and he's a veteran as well. He and I, we've known each other 40 years. So,
Oh,
so but he's a
Camera
he's
says
a
you're old.
he's a veteran as well. And and one thing, you know, he did, he reached out to me a few years ago. He said, hey, I have this idea, but I need your help because you get it. Cool, whatever. We started this drone business, and we teach individuals how to go through, get their trust certification, turn around, get their Part 107, you know, so that they can legally fly and actually make money off of it. Turn around, get your Part 138, turn around and get, you know, and so we're training people, you know, to do this so if they can go out and now they can either choose to, one, start their own business, to do some type of drone inspections, photography,
Like the
um,
commercial realty stuff where
yeah,
you get to
commercial
walk
real
through it with
estate.
your own
Yeah.
and yeah.
And so, and that it helps because there are a lot of service members that get out and they try to go get a job. You know, Tamara, she applied for several jobs because she was like, I just need something to do, right? And the job she applied for, either one, they wanted to reduce her down to something else, you know,
Yep.
or two, she was just overqualified,
Yep.
right? And and so my friend and I, we're like, hey, let's do something that we think anyone can actually do, but it will actually highlight as a heavy and a really good thing to service members and vets, right? You get to fly drones, which is actually doesn't feel like a job. It's a lot of fun, right? You can make some really good money on it, and you can either work for someone or you can launch your own thing, because out of all of the drone operators in the country right now, about 90% of them are flying illegally, right?
For sure.
So,
For
like,
sure.
seriously. And
Yeah, we
so,
we experienced it in my line of work, and we did last year. We had a guy flying a drone that was flying close to one of the jumpers coming in, and we
oh,
had no idea he was gonna be in the area. And when we have the airspace, we have from 0 to whatever, you know,
yeah,
if it's 6,000, 10,000
yeah,
feet. Well, it's FAA, you know, waiver
yeah.
that you have to be in there or get our approval to come in there, and it just doesn't happen. So we see that quite a bit in my line of work.
Yeah, and it's very dangerous for you guys because I mean, between the aircraft you're jumping out of, between you all
Yeah.
jumping, you know, and so it's a thing. So we offer that training. So that's one of the funnels that FSTS, we can funnel those individuals through Smart Drone Academy. We can actually connect them to, you know, other professionals that are looking to bring on veterans. We can even guide them to places that maybe offer housing for veterans even, right? And so, which is a really important thing. Again, to Tamara's point, it's sad and sickening to see how many people raised their hand, took oath, that are standing on the street because the VA felt that they didn't deserve their benefits and
Right.
won't give them any additional help, you know. And even me myself getting out, the Army said, "Hey, you have Raynaud's phenomenon, your liability, you got to go home." I go to the VA. I'm just here. I want to, sign up for my benefits, this, that, and the other. And they said, "Well, we got to do labs." Okay, cool. Did labs twice with them in 2 months. Both times it came back, they said, "Well, we don't see that you have any signs of Raynaud's."
That's
And
the VA for you.
and so to have a organization that can help connect you with someone to help guide you through the pushback process, right? Because then at that point, when they said that to me, they were like, "You need to push back." I had someone tell me, "You need to push back." My godparents was like, "No, push back." Like, you have to understand the VA's job, as great as it is, and I'm sure I'll get some kickback on this from someone, but their job is to make sure they don't give you as much as you probably have coming to you.
They want you to
right?
give up.
They want you to give up. And I had a gentleman in Wisconsin named Jerry Berry, and he oversaw the process. And he was like, "Young man, this is going to be a fight for you, but don't stop fighting." He said, "It may take you 10 or 15 years, but don't stop fighting." He said they knew that they were going to screw you. And he had asked me, he said, "Did they tell you that you could have done a med board?" I said, "No. They told me I was a liability. You got to get out." That was it.
Mm.
He said, "You could have done a med board. You could have fought to stay in, and you would have more than likely, stayed in." And so he explained the whole process to me. And it's sad because even now, with Tamara getting out, she had to go through a process where luckily we end up meeting the gentleman who's actually down here in Tucson, Arizona. He's a retired Army chaplain, but he offers the assistance to individuals off of goodwill to help you, get
Nice.
your disability and such.
All of the med board process, everything.
He goes through the whole process, and he was phenomenal. His name is Michael King, and he always says, "I'm not going to charge anything for it. If it's in your heart to give something whenever you get your benefits, you can, but I'm doing this, from the goodness of my heart because it's needed." So us connecting individuals to people like Michael, to people like several other, doctors, therapists, financial advisors, that we've met, that's a big key of ours. But also, like I said, a big part of it is going into corporate America, going, "Hey, you guys, if you see that a veteran has checked on their application that they served, right? If someone said, 'I'm a vet,' give them, some time to understand who they are, what they actually bring to you, because that is your force multiplier that can actually increase your bottom line in your revenue, in the company's, noticeability, in a ton of other things, in your leadership teams, right? You have built-in leaders that you're literally putting in this corner to do grunt work, so to speak, right? And don't be afraid. Look at it as, if I can bring this accelerator in, it can make me even look that much better and probably help me get to the next level of whatever my career is,
Right. Well, the problem with corporate America, though, when they hire vets, they don't understand the way we think, right? They don't understand the way we think. They don't know the damage that's already done, right? From the PTSD, the anxiety, the hypervigilance, all of that, everything that goes into making those, right? So, prime example, the company that I work for is one of the largest telecommunication companies in the world. They have slowly implemented, which we have a employee resource group that's a national 501c3, and over the course of, I think it's been around since like 1939. The employee resource group has, and here in the last, because they got that big tax break where they were hiring like 20,000 veterans or whatever it was, and now they're starting to give their managers veteran training on how to deal with certain situations that might arise with the veterans that they work with. Like we had one veteran that was working in a call center and had a PTSD breakdown in the call center, and nobody knew how to deal with the situation, right? And it kind of got a little out of hand. So now they're trying to equip their managers to help with those situations, to help understand and identify what a veteran might be going through.
But on that same token, the veteran needs to understand too, especially if they're coming from a high stress job, right? Whether it's like for myself being in the infantry for 9+ years, being with the V-22 in its early exceptions of 5+ years, those are both high stress jobs. And if I take a low stress, no stress job, that may affect me more, than me going from that low stress, no stress to a higher stress job. So the veteran needs to understand themselves too, right? So you have to search within a lot, and you have to do it. I mean, because I led, trained, and mentored Marines since God Almighty, 1998, until I retired. Until I was force retired in 2011, and even going over to the V-22, on the ground side and the infantry side, it's about the Marine. It's all about the Marine. You go over to the V-22 or any aircraft whatsoever, it becomes about the aircraft. Marine, the person is second. And that stressed me out more than any deployment in the infantry, because Marines stopped being Marines and started being more corporate America working on the aircraft. So I got moved to a desk position and worked for the sergeant major. I have 3 hours on the aircraft in 5 years is how much I was stressing Marines out, because I couldn't let that high stress from the infantry side go. I couldn't let that the duty, the respect, and everything for rank go from the other side of the river where I worked before on Camp Lejeune to where I am now at New River. And then I get out, and it was like my med board came back, and 2 weeks later I was retired. Right. So I had little to no time to transition whatsoever. I didn't have time to set up a job. So I went from 14+ years of leading, training, mentoring to nothing. Right. And I say that for me. I had my wife, I had my kids, but I didn't have a job. I had a house to come home to, but I didn't know what my next step was. And I went and worked for a security company that caters to the Fortune 500. I worked there for 7.5 months, and I got written up for giving a coworker a threatening look. This is my happy face. Oh yeah, this is my happy face.
Yeah.
Will tell you, he's known me for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
I looked at this dude and I got written up by my superior, and I'm like, "Ooh, I can't do this." I called my wife. It was my son's birthday.
Wow.
I called my wife at 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, "Do I need this job?" She goes, "We're going to struggle until your VA gets straightened out, but no." I'm like, "All right, I'm coming home." And I'm like,
That's
really?
insane.
Wow.
Not the hard
For a-
feelings report.
Right.
Oh gosh.
For a look, you know what I mean? So, and then, back to Tamara's point, I went to another security company, and they're like, "We can't hire you. We cannot put you in this position." I'm like, "Listen, I need a job.
Right.
I'm not looking to make this a career. I need a job right now."
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We can't.
Yeah.
Your skill sets put you in this position. We don't have that available." I'm like, "I will start at the bottom. I need something now."
Right.
Couldn't find it. That overqualified without saying you're overqualified, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
It's
of course,
insane.
yeah. And then I fell into the job I'm in now. I've been here for going on 13 years.
Okay.
And it's a seasonal thing. I'm an independent contractor. I can work if I want, and I don't have to if I don't want to work. I can spend as much time or as little time with my family as I want. And since COVID, I've learned to spend more time with my family.
Mhm.
because you don't get those days back. Those
Right.
minutes that tick by, those hours that tick back, those days, those weeks, those months, those years that tick by, you never get back.
No.
No matter how hard you try to rewind that clock, it's
You
not happening.
won't get them back.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things with what we're doing is, we're trying to help people find grounding, because if you're constantly trying to figure out where you fit in, you can't level yourself anywhere, like you really can't. And I mean, I've dealt with integrative mental health and wellness. I've another thing that I'm doing, which we're hoping to push through FSCS as well, is that I've created a formula that's like legally I can't say it's an anti-anxiety formula, even though it is, but it's a calming formula, right?
Yeah.
So it's all natural, holistic, to the point that whenever I beta tested it, I had college students during exam time jumping off of their Adderall, to take it instead because it didn't give them side effects and things of that nature, right?
That drowsiness when they're coming down off of it, and the higher anxiety when they're not on it.
And it helps when you have something that naturally is in your system that can calm you, help you focus. You can think clear, right? You can get more accomplished. And sometimes the mental health is because of stress. It's the anxiety side of it, right? It's like not knowing what's going to happen next because you don't have things in order. And so that's another big play for us that we're just trying to make sure, like, hey, how do we reduce this anxiety? The suicide rate from veterans, especially the men, it's just ridiculous.
Well, it's worse on the women. So if you take the percentage, right, it's the women's percentage is actually higher than the men's.
I've seen that, and that's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
But if you look at it too, there are a ton of nonprofits for the guys. There's little to nothing for women. And that's changing. It's slowly changing. And there are some out there, like with Challenge America, they have a women specific veterans thing that they do, which is amazing. And then there's a couple other nonprofits out there for women only. You have some female veterans that experience the MST and they don't want to be around the dudes. And then some nonprofits just do women only retreats. So you're not involved with the men. But it's back to the law enforcement too. There's nothing for our law enforcement officers either, right? So more people need to open it up, and we see it all the time of a female veteran who somebody's like, oh, that spot's for a veteran. Women serve too, my guy. You just and I'm sure Cameron's probably experienced it, right? So it's one of those things that especially that older generation, there weren't as many women serving in certain roles that there are now. And there was a lot less female serving. So it's just, it's that older people we need to get in the mindset too. And it's the same way with corporate America too, right? It's not understanding that females serve and have done just as much stressful or more stressful jobs than the men have done.
And that's the other part that we're working on too, because to your point, the older veterans, and Tamara and I, we were just having this discussion about a week ago about, you go into some of the VFWs, and if you didn't serve during their time and it wasn't, it wasn't the way that they think it should be, a lot of times they're just like, why are you here? Like,
I've been told we don't want your kind here.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's my kind? What's my kind? Right. So I started talking to the guy and have a conversation. I said, well, what war did you serve in? He said, I was Vietnam era. Well, that right there tells me you never went into country, right? You might have gone to the Philippines or somewhere else or served during that time, but you were not in country. I'm like, well, what's my kind? A Purple Heart recipient, a Marine, a young Marine, a combat veteran? What's my kind? Well, you guys want to come in here with your gaming systems and your flat screen TVs. I'm like, I want to come in and have a beer and talk with guys that are like-minded, but obviously this is not where I want to be. And then the bartender comes out and he's like, this guy's bothering me, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up leaving, and I've never stepped foot back in the VFW again. Any VFW, period, because of that experience.
Yeah.
Because you can only assume that they're all going to be that way. That's all you can assume, because it is. And it's a very attacking approach, sadly. And it's like, we all we serve the same for the same country, you know. And like last time I checked, the flag hasn't changed, the colors haven't changed, the stars
it's
are
right
still there.
It's
You
right
know?
there. It's
Right.
hold on. What side of my arm is that on? It's right
Right.
there.
Look.
It's been red, white,
That's why
blue as far as I
Right.
can remember.
Drink them up.
You know what I mean?
All
I mean,
right,
it's behind,
so
behind Willis. You know, it's
it's
the
always
stars may have changed. A couple of stars
right.
may have been added, but it's
Right.
still the same.
Still the
Yeah,
same.
And,
still the same.
and it still represents the same thing: the United States of America.
At
And
the
everybody
core.
else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, come on now. Oof.
all
Yeah,
right.
I'm not going to start on that one. They'll put me off on the deep end. I'll have to go get some Adderall and some calming medicines myself on that one.
So do you guys have a website yet for your?
We haven't. Well, I'll jump in.
Yeah,
Oh,
you are the tech person, not me. I'm not.
We haven't put the website up yet. We wanted to. Gosh, it sounds so corporate. We want to come to market, right? Like we want to make the impact in the way that we saw would actually be more easily received, and so it's social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we immediately threw up Facebook page, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram. So those are our 4 platforms right now. I am working on our website behind the scenes right now, but the the response that we've gotten
Oof.
just off of TikTok and Facebook, like Tamara can go into the statistics because she's forever looking at the analytics. You know, I'm like, hey, you're gonna find yourself a little addicted to that. So just
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
But,
I don't look.
Is it
at
the
it.
handle across all platforms?
It's from service
from
to self.
service to self.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from service to self. You
Yeah.
wanna
So yeah, for sure. There's and if you to email, so you can reach out on any of those platforms to us. But we do have the emails if you want to get more information. So it's Tamara TAMARA at service 2 self.com, and then Walter WALTER at service 2 self.com to find out more about what we do, or if you have a business that you want to possibly partner with and help other veterans out, that will be phenomenal. We would love to have people join in and assist us with that. Just building, like I said before, a huge ecosystem for veterans, because we have to take care of each other, because clearly none of them will. Nobody else seems to want to, take care of us out here. And I mean, we need it. Yes, we volunteered, but we definitely need each other. And I mean, it's wonderful just sitting there talking to you all. It's just a feeling that is different than when you're talking to people that never served. I mean, you guys are
for
great.
sure.
Well, thank you. Well,
And
I want to say thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with us and telling us all about yourselves, and then also from service to self. I mean, I think it's phenomenal, and I'm gonna link you together with Triple Threats Vet Podcast, Misfit Nation, and a bunch of these other
awesome
veteran podcasts, so we can get your story out there more.
Thank you.
And then on
Thank you.
TikTok World, I'll share you guys out on TikTok World too as well. There's
Awesome.
plenty of veterans out there. I don't know. There's a lot of active duty on TikTok. You just got to get into that right algorithm to find them, because they're always on. Which when I was on, or when I was in the military, you couldn't do social media. Of course, we didn't have really social media
We
back
didn't
then.
have. We couldn't do it. We didn't
Hey! Too much with the age. Too much with the age right now.
Hell, I didn't even have a cell
When it came out.
phone.
social media, bro. We just barely had the friggin' internet. What are you talking about?
Telling stuff. Just
Oh man,
Yeah, come.
but we wasn't supposed to do stuff like that though,
Right.
you know. And now anybody. Hell, there's CWO5s that are on TikTok. I'm like, bro,
dancing. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
in uniform, and
Yes.
I'm like, bro,
Yes. Right. Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
no, come on, and it's got out of hand, man. It's
Yep.
just like,
Yeah.
holy cow. But I do want to say thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with us. I'm going to
For
get
sure.
you linked with those other veteran podcasters. We'll get you on their shows, and hopefully we get your story out there more, because that's what we're all about here on HomeFront SitRep, is making those connections and sharing people's story. And I think y'all got a great system in place to help transitioning service members get out of the service and find that sense of purpose and that camaraderie. So I think it's amazing.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to drop you down in the green room. Gunny and I, we're going to wrap up.
Before we throw you back, Walter was getting ready to say one more thing, and you started doing your
Oh,
deal.
sorry.
So is there anything in closing that you guys want to say before we
Do
kick
you want to
back
say
to the
anything?
green
I
room?
forgot what I was going to
See,
say.
Willis
Man.
just
I got
ruined
a
his
brain
mood.
injury.
No,
I got
actually,
brain.
I will say this. One, we do appreciate being able to come on and actually get the story out there, and the information about what we're doing, and we look forward to connecting with more people. Um, if you're a veteran, if you're even a service member that's about to transition out, just remember, just because you take off the uniform, don't mean you stop serving. Like,
Yep.
you know, your purpose is still there. As a matter of fact, I personally feel it's a lot greater once that uniform is off. So my thing is, we're here. You can reach out to us, email, go to any of the platforms. Like Tamara said, we are, we're openly active on the platforms. Like, we're responding to just about everything. Um, and we just want, we want the best for all of us that have actually taken that oath. I mean, it takes a lot. And one thing that I always tell people is this: remember, 1%, and actually that's a lot less now, less than 1% make up our military. And that there lets you know that you're already 99% better than anyone who tells you that you're not good enough, right? Like, seriously. So, I mean, just always keep that at the forefront, no matter what.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you guys again. We're going to drop you down in the green room. If you want to hang out, we can chit chat once Gunny and I finish the show. But if you got things to go do, we understand that as well.
Okay, we'll wait around.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
How cool was that, Gunny?
Good stuff, man. I mean, we talk about the transition a lot. We've talked about the TAPS and the SEPs and the retirement seminars and stuff that they're the militaries are offering, and how far they've come from when you got out the first time to where they're at now, and even when I retired back in 11 to where they're at now, and to have an organization out there that's even helping that further, right? And going to the top of these companies and letting the CEOs know that they have people that have a lot more worth than what they truly think, other than just having that veteran tag behind their name or in front of their name or whatever, and letting them know. I mean, you want something done, give it to that vet. It's going to get done.
Yeah.
And it's going to get done in a timely manner. We may procrastinate on some things, but when you're actually given a mission, there's no procrastination happening on that mission.
Yeah, my wife will tell you I procrastinate all the time. She'll tell me to do something. 6 weeks later, I'll get it done. I'm like, that's only because it's here at the house. I said, but if my boss tells me to do something, I get it done pretty quickly. Oh man,
there's a different form of payment from the wife than there is the boss. So I might do the stuff for the wife before I do it for the boss.
Oh, I'm gonna go rest high on that mountain, Gunny. Oh man. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's watching right now. If you're on here, whether you're watching on YouTube, any one of the YouTube channels, the 2 Facebook channels, LinkedIn, or over on the TikTok world, I want to say, give y'all a big shout out. You guys are why we do what we do here on HomeFront SitRep, and you guys keep us motivated to keep trucking along. And then of course we get to meet great guests like Walter and Tamara and everybody else that we've had on the show. Tomorrow we get the Bunkhouse podcast. Joel, he's going to be on tomorrow to talk about himself and also the Bunkhouse podcast. And then all these great veteran nonprofits: Montana Warriors on the Water, Project Zero down in Texas, the Fallen Heroes, Project Healing Waters. Yeah. Everybody that we've had on the show, man. Vets with Nets with Rich Segarra. You guys are amazing. Go check out our website, homefrontsitrep.com, and you can see all these great veteran business owners, great veteran.
Don't say all. You can say most. Because it's not updated.
Yeah, I definitely need to update. I need a website guru. So if you know anybody out there that likes doing websites and can do it for free, let me know, because I need my website
updated, right? Just uploading the content and the people every week that we have on. And,
yeah.
Willis is probably a year behind. I mean,
yeah, a little bit. Anyway, Gunny, it's about that time of night. You ready?
Sure.
Gunny's words of wisdom.
So, I kind of mentioned it earlier in the show, and if you have things you want to do, don't put off your 1 days too many times, because those 1 days may not arrive. I wanted to go to Alcatraz. I put it off, and then finally went. And I'm glad I did. Take those moments when you have that time while you're still here walking this earth. Take that time and do it. Don't put off your 1 days too many days.
Yeah, tomorrow's never promised.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I've learned that the hard way a few times in my life. Tomorrow's never promised. So make sure you hug your loved ones. Tell them that you love them, and don't wait till tomorrow.
Yep.
Do it today. That was so powerful. I would agree with that statement 100%. That's a hard one. That's a hard one, Gunny, but a great one. All right, you ready?
It's time for the joke of the day.
Gunny, I think you already know this one. I think you told me this one. What concert cost 45 cents? What concert cost 45 cents?
50 Cent with Nickelback.
50 Cent featuring Nickelback. That was a good one.
Oh, shoot.
All right, Gunny, time to wrap her up. You ready?
Yeah, man.
All right, here we go.
You still have worth. You still have value. Don't let the dark days win. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down.
Yep. Don't let your dark days win. In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You're not alone. The uniform may come off, but the bond remains. And together we heal, we rise, we carry each other forward. And the key word there is together. Together we heal, together we rise, and together we carry each other forward. All right.
Before you move on to the next one, we close the show every week with these same things. And it's not just us up here running our sucks. You're truly not alone in this journey of your transition. You're truly not alone in your journey to be coming back to the civilian life, or even in your current military life. There are people out here that are willing to help you and assist you in any way. And I guarantee there's people listening to this podcast or watching this podcast that have experienced the same things you're going to, or similar things that can help you get through that hurdle. You're not digging out of this ditch alone. We're here for you.
Amen. Be someone stranger. Listen, guys, ladies, gents, we talk about this every episode. Be someone stranger. And what I mean by that is we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. And I'm prime example of this. My wife and I, we've been together 24 years, been married 20 years, be 21 this November. And I wanted to protect her and my children from the shit that I've seen when I was in the military. So they didn't start learning more about me until I started this podcast and started opening up to complete strangers. And then they would watch, and then they learned, and like, oh, well, I didn't know that. So be someone stranger. So when you're out and about and you see somebody that looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them, say, hey, how are you doing? And if they give you the red flags, I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living the dream, ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation. Don't just say it in passing. Be ready for that conversation. Sit there and listen to them as they're letting everything out. You never know. You might save that person's life. So ask the next hard question. How are you really doing?
Yeah, and it takes a village. I mean, I mentioned it earlier. You're not in this thing alone. We all have this amazing phone book attached to us that, every friggin' minute of the day. Hell, probably even when you're sleeping, it's attached to your hand somehow. But open up that contacts list, blindly scroll through, and just hit a name. Call them, hey, bro, how you doing? You got an ear? I need to talk. Maybe that day, your voice is the one that saves them.
Amen. All right, so now we're going to talk about community partners. So we don't have any sponsors here at HomeFront SitRep. We have community partners Up first, man, is a phenomenal one. Go ahead, Gunny.
Yeah, SOF Missions, based in Tampa, Florida. Great organization. I cannot speak highly enough about this organization. Willis and I went down in February and took part in their 5-day clinic. Every bit of the clinic, with the exception of the group meetings, is catered 100% to you, the individual. They paid for our travel down, our room and board, and then just put together a great program for all of us. Man, it was, massage therapy and acupuncture and all this other great stuff, vitamins, supplements.
Golf therapy.
Yeah, just golf. It's not just for veterans. They have first responders as well. They have 2 women's clinics a year. One of them's coming up in October. So if you're interested, go in and fill out the application. Let Willis and I know that you filled out that application. We'll put in a word for you. But yeah, great 5-day clinic. I'm still continuing with my supplements. I'm still continuing with my my gym stuff that they set forth every single week. And if you choose to do so, it's 365 days of aftercare once you get out of the clinic. They'll hook you up with a golf pro near you if you want to continue with the golf. They'll hook you up with your VA stuff to try to help you get you lined up with your VA. But yeah, sofmissions.org. Again, can't say enough. Great organization and great people too. I mean, you feel welcomed from minute one.
I speak highly of them when I talk about nonprofits. You have your big ones. You got your big, I say the big 3. These guys, SOF Missions, would be your next tier of nonprofits, and I would say that they're probably, in my opinion, better than the big 3 because they still care about you as an individual. And like Gunny said, everything is catered to you, except for the group session while you're there. And then they give you 365 days of aftercare. How many nonprofits out there do that? Not many.
Yeah.
Not many at all. SOFmissions.org. Go check them out. Up next is heroesmediagroup.com. Adam Bird and his team at Heroes Media Group, they are phenomenal. We've been part of HMG for 3 years now. If I need anything, all I gotta do is call Adam, say, hey, can you get me a press pass or press credentials to go to the White House? Can you get me press pass to go to the event here in Louisville, Kentucky? Whatever it might be. If I needed it for the Grand Ole Opry, he could call and get us press passes for that. So go check out heroesmediagroup.com and see what they offer. He's got a whole plethora of veteran podcasts that's on that network. Up next is Reach Across America Radio. HomeFront SitRep has been on Reach Across America Radio now for 2.5 years, Gunny, I think. You can find us on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern, on reachacrossAmerica.org/radio, or you can download the iHeartRadio app, Odyssey app, or TuneIn app. Search the word Reach, and you can find Reach Across America Radio there. You want this one?
Yeah, same flag, same oath. Matt and Becky Johnson out of Texas, great veteran-owned organization, doing our shirts. We have 6 shirts up there now. The Marine It Down shirt, the Spicy Pineapple, the Be Someone Stranger, You're Not Alone, our own Remember Everyone Deployed red shirt, and the HomeFront SitRep shirt. The Marine It Down shirt comes just as it is. The Spicy Pineapple shirt comes just as it is. The other shirts, so the Remember Everyone Deployed comes in black or the red, and then the HomeFront SitRep, You're Not Alone, and the Be Someone Strangers come in different colored shirts, and you can get different colored fonts as well.
Yeah. As you can see, I'm wearing the red one now. Gunny and I designed this one, and I tell you what, it's phenomenal. I'm actually getting ready to use the compass portion of it, get a tattoo on my calf muscle. This is Not All Who Wander Are Lost. So my tattoo artist really liked the design of the compass and stuff, so he's going to do that for me. So, but yeah, you can find our shirts on HomeFrontSitRep.com. Up next, Gunny, you and your hat fetish. Up next, we got EliteEngraving24.com. This is a small veteran-owned T-shirt or laser engraving company here in Campbellsburg, Kentucky. Veteran couple. She's Air Force. He was
Army.
Yeah, Army. And they do hats. Gunny's wearing one of our hats right now, and then he's got a whole plethora of other hats there that is from Elite Engraving. So go check out Elite and koozies. They do cups. You can get cups
leather,
laser engraved,
work, the metal, wood,
you name it.
Yeah, and they have a couple of different powered lasers, and you give them your designs, your thought, they'll come up with it. I love our HomeFront SitRep hat. It's got that carbon fiber look to it, and you can get it, any Richardson style hat they carry. It's just a great, husband wife duo down there in Campbellsburg, Kentucky, doing some amazing things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Valor Coins and Pins, Brent and Brian Davis. Brent and Brian Casey. I skipped one. Brent and Brian Casey, the grandsons of the late Herschel Woody Williams, Medal of Honor recipient from World War II, the Battle of Iwo Jima, veteran-owned business. Anything you need, challenge coin wise, poker chip wise, medals, pins, Brent and Brian will take good care of you. Just let them know the boys at HomeFront SitRep sent you. We don't get a kickback whatsoever, but they may hook you up with a good price.
Yes, sir.
There we go. RDC Shoes with Darren Davis. Him and his wife started that. They have the Glory and the Patriot right now. Each shoe benefits a different nonprofit, and each shoe comes with a hero card of a Medal of Honor recipient.
Yes, sir. And then cavarts.org. So this is part of challengeamerica.com. And Cavarts is their Challenge America Veterans in the Arts. So go check out cavarts.org, or you can go to challengeamerica.com and click on the Military Sisterhood Initiative, which is for female veterans. So you can go click on it there. I'm sure there's a website for that too, but I don't know it off the top of my head because I'm not a female veteran. But they do amazing things.
I still have it. I did take a picture of it and send it to a couple of my female veterans.
So go check out cavarts.org. It's kind of like Facebook, but it's all veterans only. So go check out cavarts.org. There's leatherworking, poetry, there's songwriting. If you want to learn how to play the guitar, there's the Guitars for Vets cyber chapter on there. You got the Art of Podcasting if you want to learn how to do podcasting, which I host with Rich LaMonica, Travis Partington, and Ty Cobb. So go check that out. We do it on the first Wednesday of each month. We do a host live on there.
Military Sisterhood Initiative.org.
There you go. Military Sisterhood Initiative.org. So go check that out as well. I'm gonna have to put that on here, Gunny. And then last but not least, go check out HomeFront.
6,000 women members right now.
Nice. So 6,000, is it a little over 6,000?
It says 6,000 plus. Yeah.
Nice.
That's the picture from that the flyer they had on the tables when we were in the backstage area.
Okay, down in at the Opry.
Yep.
Awesome. And then last but not least, go check out HomeFrontSitRep.com. You can click on merch. You can get our hat. You can get our shirts. They're all listed on there. And when you get your hat, when you get your shirts, tag HomeFront SitRep on Facebook. We'd love to see you wearing our gear and supporting, especially the "You're Not Alone" and "Be Someone Stranger." To me, those are my, and then of course this one here, the "Remember Everyone Deployed." Those are my favorites. I do have a couple more that I'm working on that are going to be funny. I got one that's going to be the original Roomba. I'm working on that design, and then I have another design that I'm working on as well. So go check out HomeFrontSitRep.com, click on that merch, and wear our shirts with pride. But other than that, I think we're good, right, Gunny?
Yeah, man.
All right. All right, and then we'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, with the Bunkhouse podcast.
And then Wednesday, we have
Tip the Spear on Wednesday. Yep. But like we said, like we always say on HomeFront SitRep, stay safe out there.
We got your 6.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.